Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
सभी लोग बोलिए हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning. Srimad Bhagavatam Sangha, and trying to do some attentive chanting as well. And it seems that actually we haven't been advertising in this group because I think we got a nice regular team here. Just wondering whether it's any point in advertising in the main group, but it seems that the link doesn't get through to some of the people. I think maybe Mr. Rishi Mataji as well. She doesn't get the link. So anyway, let's see. Maybe next time we should put a message in the group as well, so everybody could see. Otherwise, causing a bit of confusion. Let's make a start now. And we are still talking about Dhruva Maharaj. And today he's meeting Kuvera because he's been fighting the Yakshas. And Kuvera, they come from the lineage of Kuvera. So Kuvera is entering now into the pastime. So the great sage Maitreya said, "My dear Vidur, Dhruva Maharaj's anger subsided and he completely ceased killing yakshas." So when Kuvera, the most blessed master of the treasury, learned this news, he appeared before Dhruva while being worshipped by the yakshas, kinnars and charanas. He spoke to Dhruva Maharaj, who stood before him with folded hands. So remember last week, Manu, his grandfather came and asked him to stop fighting because he was killing innocent people who were not involved in the killing of Uttam. Yet, discriminately, Dhruva was killing everyone, all the yakshas. So he was asked to stop. Now he had stopped by the instructions of his grandfather. And then Kuvera comes to meet him. The master of the treasury, Kuvera said, "Oh, sinless son of Kshatriya, I am very glad to know that under the instruction of your grandfather, you have given up your enmity, although it is very difficult to avoid. I am very pleased with you." So let's do a quick prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Garim Yat Kirpataham Vande Shri Gurum Din Taranam Pramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishram. Hari Om Tassat. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswat Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiriyat. Nasta Prishwavatareshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtiki. So Kuvera continues to say, "Actually, you have not killed the yakshas, nor have they killed your brother. for the ultimate cause of generation, annihilation, is the internal time feature of the Supreme Lord. Well, not everybody might agree with that. Only, if you, I don't think the government would agree with that, and not to punish you. But I think ultimately, this is the ultimate statement. Ultimately, this is happening. When the master of the treasury addressed him as sinless, Dhruva Maharaj considering himself responsible for killing so many yakshas, might have thought himself otherwise. Kuvera, however, assured him that factually he had not killed any of the yakshas, therefore he was not at all sinful. So he just trying to pacify him. That's all. He did his duty as a king, as it is ordered by the laws of nature. Nor should you think that your brother was killed by the yakshas, said Kuvera. He died or was killed in due course of time by the laws of nature. Eternal time, one of the features of that Lord, is ultimately responsible for annihilation and generation. So you are not responsible for such actions. Okay. Misidentification of oneself and others as I and you on the basis of the bodily concept of life is a product of ignorance. This bodily concept is the cause of repeated birth and death, and it makes us go on continuously in material existence. The conception of I and you, aham tvam, as separate from each other is due to our forgetfulness of our internal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Person, Krishna, is the center point, and all of us are his parts and parcels, just as hands and legs are parts and parcels of the whole body. So when we actually come to this understanding of the being eternally related to the Supreme Lord, is this distinction, which is based on the bodily concept of life, cannot exist. The same example can be cited here with the hand is the hand and the leg is the leg. But when both of them engage in the service of the whole body, there is no such distinction as hands and legs, because they become the body, the part of the body. For all of them belong to the whole body. This is the whole body, means arms, legs, eyes, ears, everything. That's the whole body. And all the parts working together constitute the whole body. Similarly, when the living entities are in Krishna consciousness, there is no distinction but as I and you, because everyone is engaged in the service of the Lord. Since the Lord is absolute, the services are also absolute, even though the hand is working one way and the leg is working another way. Since the purpose is the Supreme Personality Godhead, they are all one. This is not to be confused with the statement of Mayavadi philosopher that everything is one. Real knowledge is that hand is hand, leg is leg, body is body, and yet altogether they are one. So they are all the bodies, one unit, and these are parts of that one unit. As soon as the living entity thinks that he's independent, so we are part of the unit, we are not unit itself, we are part of the main unit, which is Krishna himself. His conditional material existence begins. The conception of independent existence is therefore like a dream. One has to be in Krishna consciousness, his original position, then he can be freed from material bondage. My dear Dhruv, come forward. May the Lord always grace you with good fortune. The Supreme Personality Godhead, who is beyond our sensory perception, is the super soul of living entities, and thus all entities are one without distinction. Therefore, begin rendering service unto the transform of the Lord, who is the ultimate shelter of all living entities. So, Kuvera is wishing Dhruva Maharaj well, and he's saying that just concentrate on the Lord, who is the controller, and we are just a small part of him. The living entities are the marginal energy of the Supreme Form. As such, they are not different from the Supreme Form. but at the same time, they are not equal to the supreme form. This is sometimes, we think we have same quality as God, that we are God, but we are just a minute part, not God. Dhruva is advised herewith to render service on the supreme form. That will include service to other individual forms. For example, a tree has a form, and when water is poured on the roots of the tree, the other forms, the leaves, twigs, flowers, and fruits, are automatically watered. So the Mayavad conception that because the absolute truth is everything, he must be formless, is rejected here. Rather, it is confirmed that the absolute truth has form, and yet he is all pervading. Nothing is independent of him. So Kuvera goes on to say to Dhruva Maharaj, engage yourself fully, therefore, in the devotional service of the Lord, for only he can deliver us from this entanglement of materialistic existence. Although the Lord is attached to his material potency, he is aloof from her activities. Everything in this material world is happening by the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality Godhead. So God is everywhere in form of his energy. He's not necessarily everywhere himself. Krishna is in the Goloka Vrindavan, but his energies are everywhere. In continuation of just like the sun and the sunshine, sun is in one place, but the sunshine is in all over the solar system. There must be the servant. So devotional service cannot be rendered to the impersonal Brahman, feature of the Supreme Personality Godhead. There must be the servant, service, and the served. So three things we need to serve someone. You need someone who's you're going to serve, the master, the servant, and the service. So three things are very important. The Supreme Personal Godhead is served. The mode of activities to please him is called service. And one who renders such service is called the servant. Another significant feature in this verse is that only the Lord and no one else is to be served. And this is confirmed in Bhagavad-Gita. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. There is no need to serve the demigods, who are just like the hands and legs of the Supreme Lord. When the Supreme Lord is served, the hands and legs of the Supreme Lord are automatically served. There is no need of separate service. This is why we don't serve demigods, we serve Krishna, because he's the whole and rest are all his parts. No one but the Supreme Lord can help the living entity be delivered from the entanglement of this material world. So they can give you boons, but they can't deliver you from this material. Only Krishna can do that. The material energy is a manifestation of one of the Supreme Personality Godhead's varieties of potency. This material energy is one of the Lord's potencies, as much as heat and light are the same time. He has nothing to do with the material energy. The living entity who is of the margin energy is entrapped by the material energy on the basis of his desire to load it over the material world. So even though material energy is weaker, is inferior energy, and we living entities are the superior energy, but yet the material energy can still control us. And that's only because when we shift ourselves away from God and we want to load it over, we have material desires. Well, as soon as we have material desires, material energy is very happy. Okay, you want to come into my Sharan, you want to surrender to me, I'm happy to take your surrender. But then this is where we get bewildered. The Lord is aloof from this, but when the same living entity engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord, then he becomes attached to this service. So this is the situation is called yuktam. For devotees, the Lord is present even in the material energy. This is the inconceivable potency of the Lord. Material energy acts in the three modes of material qualities, which produce the action and reaction of material existence. Those who are not devotees become involved in such activities. Whereas devotees who are dovetailed with the Supreme Personality of Godhead are freed from such action and reaction of the material energy. So, my dear Dhruva Maharaj, son of Maharaj Uttanpad, we have heard that you are constantly engaged in transcendental loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known for his lotus navel. You are, so he's talking about Narayan. You are therefore worthy to take all benedictions from us. Please therefore ask without hesitation whatever benediction you want from me. So this is amazing. So Kuvera, you would think, because Dhruv had killed so many of his lineage, that he would be angry with, naturally somebody would come and first be very angry that, what have you done? You have killed so many. But here, Kuvera said, it's okay. It's not your fault. That's it's destiny. It's time. Doing all this, it's not your fault at all. You're sinless. And now he's offering him a boon. This is this. You wouldn't see this in the nowadays anyway. I don't think that would apply nowadays. To us. No, we wouldn't do that. Dhruva Maharaj, the son of King Uttanpad, was already known throughout the universe as a great devotee of the Lord, constantly thinking of his lotus feet. Such a pure, uncontaminated devotee of the Lord is worthy to have all the benedictions that can be offered by the demigods. So Kuvera is a demigod. He doesn't have to worship the demigods separately for such benedictions. Kuvera is the treasurer of the demigods, and he's personally offering whatever benediction Dhruva Maharaj would like to have from him. So Srila Bilvamangal Thakur stated, therefore, that for persons who engage in the service of the Lord, all material benedictions wait like maid servants. Mukti Devi is just waiting at the door of the devotee to offer liberation, or more than that, at any time. But that doesn't mean we should think, oh, I'm a devotee because I'm chanting 16 rounds, I'm following Ekadashi. Now all these maid servants are waiting. We should never think on that level. We think that we need to do more. We need to do a lot more. We're just getting causeless mercy. To be a devotee is therefore an exalted position. Simply by rendering transcendental loving service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can have all the benedictions of the world without separate endeavor. Lord Kuvera said to Dhruva Maharaj that he had heard that Dhruva was always in samadhi or thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord. In other words, he knew that for Dhruva Maharaj, there was nothing desirable within the three material worlds. So maybe just testing him because he knows that he doesn't want anything, oh, how I've heard that he's a great devotee. How great devotee is he? But Dhruva Maharaj even refused any benediction from Narayan himself. He knew that Dhruva would ask for nothing but to remember the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord constantly. So if you don't want anything, people will offer you everything. If you want something, then you might not be offered. This is the way of the world. The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidul, when thus asked to accept a benediction from Kuvera, the Yaksharaj, the king of the Yakshas, Dhruv, this is Kuvera, Dhruva Maharaj, that most elevated pure devotee who was an intelligent and thoughtful king, begged that he might have unflinching faith in and remembrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For thus a person can cross over this ocean of nescience very easily, although it is very difficult for others to cross. So this is what he asks, that you always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. And this should be our, this is what we should be always asking, that we should always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, especially at the time of death, we should remember Krishna. And that's all we should be asking. We ask for anything else, we ask for anything material, then we'll get entangled and stuck in this material world, going through the karmic cycles again and again. According to the opinion of expert followers of Vedic rites, there are different types of benedictions in terms of religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. These four principles are known as Chatur Vargas. Of all the Chatur Vargas, the benediction of liberation, that's the last one, is considered to be the highest. So Dharma, Arth, Kam, Moksha, liberation, that is the highest benediction. To be unable to cross over materialness is known as the highest Purushat. It's also known as Purushat, or benedictions for the human being. But Dhruva Maharaja wanted a benediction which surpasses even the highest Purushat, liberation. So we don't even want liberation. This is what we were told by the acharyas, that we don't even want liberation. I think in the Shikshta Ashtakam, Lord Chaitanya says, I don't even want liberation, just want you, Lord. He wanted a benediction that he might constantly remember the lotus feet of the Lord. So all these exalted devotees, even Lord Chaitanya in the form of a devotee, they're teaching us that don't ask for anything, just ask for the Lord himself, and everything else follows with it. This stage of life is called Pancham Purushat. This is the fifth Purushat, fifth benediction you can have, the Lord himself. When a devotee comes to the platform of Pancham Purushat, simply engaging in devotion service to the Lord, the fourth Purushat, liberation, becomes very insignificant in his eyes. So everything's relative. Dharma might seem big, earth, calm, material like attachment might seem very big. Depends on who you associate with, right? But if you take the fifth Purushat, then all these other things, they seem very minute, very small in comparison. The son of Idvida, Lord Kuvera, was very pleased, and happily he gave Dhruva Maharaj the benediction he wanted. Thereafter, he disappeared from Dhruva's presence, and Dhruva Maharaj returned to his capital city. So Kuvera, who is known as the son of Idvida, was very pleased with Dhruva Maharaj because he didn't ask for anything material, enjoyable. Kuvera is one of the demigods. So one may put forward the argument, why did Dhruva Maharaj take a benediction from a demigod? Why did Dhruva Maharaj take a benediction from a demigod? Because earlier we were saying that don't worship demigods, don't take benedictions from demigods, because demigods will give you benedictions that might not be good for you. Krishna will only give you benediction that is in your favor. Demigods will give you benediction that you want, whether it's good for you or bad for you, that they're not concerned with that. So Srila Prabhupada says the answer is that for a Vaishnava, there is no objection to taking a benediction from a demigod if it is favorable for advancing in Krishna consciousness. So anything Krishna consciousness, whatever it is, if it brings you closer to Krishna, but you have to be sincere. You can't say, "Oh, give me 100 million pounds and that will bring me close to Krishna." You have to be sincere that, will they actually bring me close to Krishna? So that benediction, a sincere benediction, you can ask. The gopis, for example, worship Katyani, a demigoddess, but the only benediction they wanted from the goddess was to have Krishna as their husband. So this is an example that yes, you can ask the demigods for a boon. You can ask Hanumanji, please give me your qualities of service. I want to serve Krishna. I want to serve like you serving Lord Ram. I want to serve God. Please give me some of your qualities. You can ask Shiva, please, I want to be a good Vaishnava as well. So things like that, you can ask, which will take you closer to Krishna. So Vaishnava is not interested in asking any benediction from the demigods, nor is he interested in asking benedictions from the Supreme Personality Godhead. It is said in the Bhagavatam that liberation can be offered by the Supreme Person. But even if a pure devotee is offered liberation by Supreme Lord, he refuses to accept it. So Dhruva Maharaj did not ask Kuvera for transference to the spiritual world. He could have just gone to the spiritual world just like this, which is called liberation. He simply asked that wherever he would remain, whether in the spiritual or material world, he would always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the key. That is the key, because even if you are transferred to the spiritual world, if your motive was just to get to the spiritual world, then in no time you'll be back again in material world, because you have no attachment to Krishna. If you don't have any attachment, you only have attachment to the wonders of the spiritual world, then once you have exhausted that, you will return back to material world. So our attachment should be to Krishna himself, and everything else will be connected with that. So as long as he remained at home, Dhruva Maharaj performed many great ceremonial sacrifices. So now we're talking about how Dhruva Maharaj lived his life. So according to the four divisions of Varna and Ashram, Kshatriya and Vaishyas are especially advised to perform great ceremonial sacrifices and to distribute the accumulated money very liberally. Dhruva Maharaj, as a king and ideal Kshatriya, performed many such sacrifices, giving very liberally in charity. So it's like that. Okay, we'll leave that there. So amazing. So we have to be careful what we ask for and who we ask for benedictions, and our focus should be on the Lord himself, and not for material or even spiritual gain. Should be the Lord himself, and everything else follows anyway. So very careful. So thank you so much. I don't know where everybody is. I think it's part of the fact that I didn't put a message into the group.
Put them personally. Reservation of the group.
So anyway, thank you all for joining. My father-in-law ji, Madhav Shyam Sundar Prabhu, Partha Prabhu, and Parveen Mataji. Thank you for joining. And it's very, very cold weather going on. Please look after yourselves, and please make some contribution of this reading that we have just done. What do we understand by this? Any input you like to add, or anything you liked, please. Thank you, Mother Shamsundar Prabhu, for staying today. Maybe just add something, or just tell us what you liked.
Hari Bol Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
Very nice class. So many things to learn in this class. So I don't want to add anything. Is you cover almost everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Partha Prabhu, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol Prabhuji. A very nice class, Prabhuji. Especially the last point which you mentioned, that contradiction of don't take benediction from demigods, but it is very well explained by Srila Prabhupada again, that a Vaishnava can take a benediction, but you already mentioned, you also mentioned that don't expect that get me a 10,000 million pounds. So that sincerity should be there, and then you can take benediction from demigod. That point is nice. And the point initially you mentioned about three things, like servant, service, and three, Lord, servant, and service. All three should be there. That shows that Supreme Personality of Godhead is a personal form. It's not an impersonal form. You will do devotional service for a person, not anything which is not a personal. And you mentioned about hands and legs. So if you satisfy the body, like Prabhupada's analogy is there, like if we feed the stomach, that is sufficient. It will spread all the things to the other parts of the body. You cannot feed directly to hands and legs. So that point is very nice, Prabhuji. And for a devotee, he will see the God in everything, even in material energy also. He see the presence of God even in material energy as well. That's all, Prabhuji.
Yeah, this is very good, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Yeah, see God in the material energy as well. That's so. What do we understand by that, Prabhu?
Normally we call, my understanding, Prabhuji, like normally we say that material energy, we present as if it is it is a scary thing. So material energy, anyhow, material energy is going to control us, and because of our desires, we get the body and senses provided by the material energy. But even material energy is working under the instructions of the Lord. So that's what we are saying. Like, we are not under, it is not that we are directly under the control of material energy, but even material energy is under the control of the Lord. That means we are actually controlled by the Lord, not by just by the material energy. That's what I think, Prabhuji.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's a they say in Hindi or Punjabi, Ram Teri Maya. I don't know if that's the same thing. Ram Teri Maya, Tera Ant Kish Na Paya. That you very, you know, they say in the movies as well, this statement that this illusion, this like it's you doing everything, whether it's material or spiritual. Like the Lord is doing everything, and inconceivable. It's very inconceivable what the Lord does, and and how He does it, and when He does. You know, He knows. Nobody else can work it out. So yeah, it's good. Like for material, you're right. So material energy is under the control of the Lord. It's one of His potencies, and He knows. If you desire material, then the material energy will work. If you want spiritual, then His spiritual energy. The energies are there. It's for us to pick what we want to pick, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So yeah, we have margin energy. We have so much option. It's an amazing thing. You know, Krishna has given us free will. Choose. It's your choice. You know, if you want to enjoy this. If you want to enjoy this other side, then enjoy that. He's easy going, very easy going. This shows how easy going the Lord is. You know, He provides everything for us. All the facilities are there. It's up to us what we accept. But at the same time, there is something called karma. So everything comes at a cost as well, you know, because we can't just do willy-nilly anything we want, and then there's no consequences. There's always consequences of good things and bad things, right? And you know, this is the thing, Prabhu, that people don't understand. You know, people who are not religious, don't follow, believe in God. You know, if you don't believe in God, you got to understand. If you look, you know, why are people different? Why are some people suffering more than others? Why are some people, you know, why are people different shapes and sizes? And why are some people so rich and other people so poor? You know, so why are you see people mutilated? They have no legs. You know, some may not have an arm, or they have some kind of body, you know, a problem, bodily problem in the looks or whatever, right?
Yeah,
you know, you have to think that there's something going on. You know, why doesn't everybody look equal? Why isn't the wealth why isn't the wealth equal in everybody? Why distributing everybody? Why do people, you know, have different situations? So there's something going on, right? Somebody's controlling this, and there's a reason why this is happening. And this concept of karma, it makes sense. I mean, even the Western world now believes in karma. There's songs about, you know, doing karma. So if there's a karma, then somebody's controlling that karma as well, right? Who's distributing this karma according to our karma, you know, how we behave. So, you know, why won't you believe in God, or, you know, this super, you know, super personality that is controlling all this? But why wouldn't you believe in it? That some people just don't believe in anything. They just believe that this body is here, it's gone. Then why is everybody equal then? You know, why is so much difference?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Obviously, the devotees understand that's why we're here. This is why we're doing this. But other people, you know, ones who don't believe, I mean, are they walking around with their eyes closed or ears shut? You know, you think, why don't they understand there's why different things going on everywhere. Thank you, bro.
Thank you very much.
Parveen Mataji, Haribol.
Haribol, Haribol, Dhanvat Pranam Prabhuji. Very nice discussion. So really enjoyed that. And very nice class. It was basically again revision of Bhagavad-Gita, all the important analogies, and then the Lord says, Sarvdharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. So we only need to take shelter of Krishna. And what I'm taking is, yes, we are part and parcel of Lord. So all our activities should reflect, although like we are minute part, but I'm going to put it in my head and I will try to remember anything I say, anything I do. We are representing the Lord. So, it should be on that platform. And we should always remember Krishna. And the main focus should be on the Pancham Purusharth, that we want the Lord Himself, nothing else. And like the benedictions from the demigods, what I'm thinking is it okay to ask the benediction that, yes, can we have money for our temple, please?
Yeah,
We can ask Durga Mata, please give us the money. So I always said, can we have the money so we can have the temple? So not for anything else. We don't want anything else, but we just want the temple.
absolutely. Absolutely. Not for our personal benefit, for the
Society.
benefit.
Mm.
Yes, and you were speaking about the free will. Yes, we just need to use that free will in devotional service, not in sense gratification or anything else. So very nice. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
And like I would like to share, at the moment we are suffering the miseries of material existence. Our central heating is not working in this cold weather. It just was giving problem. My husband been trying to get the plumbers. Yeah, finally somebody came 2 days ago. He did the service and then, no, fine, it will work. And it just completely packed up that day. So now nobody can come till Monday. So it's so cold.
Yeah, it's like that. When you most need it,
Yeah.
it fails on you. Yeah, you're absolutely
Yeah. So I'm just asking Krishna, yes, you're just telling me how miserable this life is, and at the same time, I'm praying for others as well because so many other people will be suffering in this cold. So, yeah, it will be all fine. At least we can just sit in one room and just do our chanting, put the heaters on.
Yeah, I know. It's a
But we just get so used to having the radiators and everything. So, although we are putting the electric heaters in every room, everywhere, but it's still not the same. So,
yes, you're right. It's not distributed properly. The heater, you can have to sit by the heater.
yeah.
Electric ones, you have to sit by them. You have other gas heater.
No, it's just the electric heaters, and because I'm more worried because of my father-in-law, he's 91, so we have to put like 2 heaters in his room so he's warm enough.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah, but this is material life.
absolutely. And nobody can come out till Monday. I mean, still Friday to
I
start.
know. So somebody suggested me to get in touch with age concern. They might put him, but then I don't want him to go because I don't want him to catch any colds or anything if they do put him anywhere. So yeah, but it will be okay. Hopefully somebody comes on Monday. So.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you. Was there
And
anything?
it's a Victorian house. It's like big ceilings and big. So it just gets so
Hard,
cold as well.
hard to warm up. Yeah, nowadays more insulated. Yeah,
Mm,
sure.
but never mind. Krishna's with us.
Thank you, Motherji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Haribol.
Was there want to say something?
So Mataji, you should be happy. At least you've got the blessing of the electric heaters, isn't it? We have to take positives in every
Oh,
situation.
definitely. No, that's what I'm saying. That at least we are in a
Yeah.
position we can afford to pay the bills and everything, Mataji. And we have got. That's what my daughters were
The
saying. Have we got enough
alternative is there.
heaters? Because
Alternative.
we had the problem in Solihull, so that's why we bought so many heaters because there the heating wasn't working in the end. So no, we are blessed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Jai.
So my takeaway from today's class is that as devotees, we have to be very good role models in the society, in our own family, and in our friend circle. or even, when we are out and about traveling, when nobody knows us. So we have to be a good role model. So we have to be saying everything in relation to blessings from Krishna, and accepting everything as it is. Only then we can inspire others to come into the bhakti. So this is what I think I have learned today. We think about this every time we hear some nice classes from Srila Prabhupada and some other devotees. Some realizations do come now and then. But listening from the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj, it is definitely that this is one of our main purposes of being a devotee. Krishna wants us to be the ambassadors for bhakti. We have to be the ambassadors for bhakti in the wider world. So more and more souls, more and more jivas can benefit from this bhakti, and their miseries and their problems of this material life can be cut short. They don't have to come here again and again. Like we are all trying as devotees to let us get closer to Krishna. If our final destination won't be Krishna Lok after this life, at least we would have progressed closer to the destination. And if we can inspire others, whether as strangers or devotees, as family, as friends, and as neighbors, that will be the another best service to Krishna. This is what my takeaway for today is. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Dr. Mati, would you like to do some rounds?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Okay, Mati, you do the first round, please.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Te Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharne Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण।